Love him or hate him, Donald Trump knows how to dominate the headlines. But beyond the tweets and the drama, there's a much more personal question: how do his economic policies actually affect your wallet? Whether you live in the United States or anywhere else in the world, the ripple effects are very real, and they can shape how you earn, spend, and save money. Let's break it down. Taxes. During Trump's first term, he passed the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which slashed corporate taxes and lowered rates for many individuals. Now, in his second term, Trump is pushing for a new wave of tax cuts, aimed again at both individuals and businesses. If you're a high-income earner or a business owner, you might stand to gain the most. But critics argue that these cuts will further balloon the national debt, which already surged past $40 trillion. And historically, rising debt can lead to higher interest rates, weakened social programs, and, eventually, tax hikes down the road. So, even if your taxes go down in the short term, the long-term effects on your wallet are far from settled. Trade and tariffs. Trump is doubling down on his America First trade agenda. This time, we're seeing expanded tariffs not just on China, but on a wider range of imports from countries like Mexico, Vietnam, and even some European allies. The goal is to boost American manufacturing and reduce dependence on foreign supply chains. The reality is that many imported goods, from electronics to clothing to car parts, are getting more expensive. If you're feeling the pinch at the checkout line or noticing price jumps on everyday items, this is part of the reason. Businesses paying more for imports often pass those costs directly to consumers, like you. Jobs and wages. Under Trump's renewed economic vision, there's a strong emphasis on reviving U.S. energy, manufacturing, and construction sectors. That has created job growth in certain industries, especially in red states and rural areas. But the flip side is that service sector jobs, tech roles, and green energy initiatives are seeing less support. If you work in these areas, the job market might feel tighter. And while wages have risen slightly in some sectors, inflation-adjusted earnings are still under pressure. Inflation and interest rates. Trump has criticized the Federal Reserve for keeping rates too high, and has publicly pushed for more aggressive cuts. But with inflation still running hot in certain sectors, this could be risky. Lower interest rates may sound great for borrowers, mortgages, credit cards, car loans, but if it means higher inflation, it could eat away at your savings and purchasing power. Bottom line: expect cheaper borrowing, but stay alert. Higher inflation might be the trade-off. Investments and the markets. Trump's pro-business stance still appeals to Wall Street. In fact, his return to the White House triggered another market rally. Investors betting on tax cuts, deregulation, and pro-growth policies saw gains. But the volatility has not disappeared. Geopolitical tensions, abrupt policy changes, and trade conflicts still keep markets on edge. So if you're investing, especially for retirement, diversification and risk management are more important than ever. The global picture. Whether you're in New York, Nairobi, or New Delhi, Trump's economic policies can impact you. His aggressive stance on trade, energy production, and global alliances affects currency values, commodity prices, and international investment flows. A trade war in Washington can trigger price shocks in Europe. A tweet about OPEC can spike global oil prices. This is the new normal. What this means for you. If you're wondering how to navigate all this, here's the takeaway: expect more tax cuts, especially for businesses and top earners. Brace for higher consumer prices, due to expanded tariffs. Watch the debt, because sooner or later, it affects everyone. If you're investing, don't chase hype. Focus on fundamentals. And as always, keep your finances flexible. Because whether you support Trump or not, one thing is clear: economic policy isn't just politics, it's personal. It shows up in your rent, your grocery bill, your investments, and your peace of mind. So how do you protect your wallet? Stay informed. Diversify your income. Save smart. And remember, no president, no policy, controls your future more than you do. If this breakdown helped bring clarity, hit that subscribe button, because in our next episode, we're diving into another very interesting topic. Stay sharp. Stay prepared. And we'll see you in the next one.